Hello, everyone, and welcome into a new series on the Long Dark. This one is called Great Bear Island Region Guide. And what this is my take on the regions and how my take on the regions and how I feel about them and the pros and cons of each region that I feel. This is not going to be a video on ranking because each region in this game has its own charm to it, its own goods and bads to it. And as far as ranking, I think all the regions are good and have their own reasons for being good and have their own reasons for being bad. And I'm going to go through each one of those in this series. And yeah, and I want to warn you, there will probably be some spoilers. As usual, I won't be going into any POIs, but I will be going through a few of them and probably will be going through the whole region. But this is a way to get you familiar, especially new players that are trying to learn the region. I'll try to help them get by. I will go over the predators and I'll go over the spawn locations of certain predators and things to watch out for. So let's get started. All right, here we are. Well, let me tell you where we are first. This is the tunnel that goes to Forlorn Muskeg. And we're going to do this region one of these days. In turn, we're going to do each of the regions. And but we're starting with Mystery Lake because it's first of all, it's the first region that ever appeared in the game and way back when in 2014 when it was released. This region has gone through many changes, and I'm probably going to go through some of the changes that they've gone through. But let me open up the map for you. I took the liberty of opening the map so we can take a look at it. And I'm going to show you what our tour is going to be like today. Here is where we are right now. We're going to walk down the tracks a little bit to this area over here, which is where the camp office, the infamous camp office. Most people know where this is, especially those that have played this game for a while, or even beginners. It's probably one of the first places you encounter when you spawn into this region, probably. But we're going to go ahead and then we're going to go around the lake right here, and I'll show you some things around the lake that you need to look out for, and some predator spawns and some wildlife spawns. And then we're going to take a walk down the river. We're going to go down here a little bit, down this way, and we're going to show you where the dam area is. And then we're going to walk back up the tracks a little bit down to this area over here, show you this little area. And then we're going to come this way, and we're going to explore this side of the map. This side of the map is very interesting. There's a lot of interesting things to be had over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back and end up right back over here again where we started. Okay, so let's get going. All right. A couple of things I want to tell you before we also get started is I had the command console in and I enabled unlimited stamina so I can run without getting tired, so I could show you guys the region without having to sleep and stuff. Also, what was I going to say? Yeah, that was it. So I had the that so I can run and not get tired. It's just easier to do this video for you. Okay, so if you follow the tracks, which is really great in this region, especially during a blizzard, if you follow the tracks, you're probably not going to get lost. Down this way, let me get up here a little bit and I can show you. This area right down here is called the Deadfall area. There's a little broken cabin over there. You might find some loot over there, very little, depending on the difficulty you're playing. Over there's also could be a wolf in that region, so be careful when you go over there. Could possibly be a wolf. So, if you're stuck in a blizzard and it's very hard to see or it's really foggy, one way to tell where this POI is by looking where the power lines here where they break off. So if you follow the train tracks and all of a sudden you see a three-way like this where it branches off, turn to the right and there's your cabin right there. This is called the camp office and is probably the most popular place here. There's another place which is down over in that direction. We'll show you that later. But this is the camp office. It's a very nice base. It has almost everything you can need in here. It's got a stove downstairs, a stove upstairs, and like I say, I'm not going to take you into these places because I think that's too spoilery. If you've never been here, I'd rather you have the experience of you going in yourself. So we're going to walk down this trail, which is called the Lake Trail, and we'll show you some more spots. So up in that area is that place I showed you before. Up there is where the bunker is. If you've seen my previous videos on the prepper caches, you would know what I was talking about. Up there is where you would find the prepper cache. Now there's a couple ways to get up there. Feel free to check out my prepper cache videos and I'll show you where that is. We're not going to go up there in this video, but it's up there, and I'll show you how to get up there from down here though. Down here is a place called Dave's Quiet Clearing. Here I'll go down there a little bit and show you. It depends on the difficulty you're playing in, whether it has loot in it or not. But if you're playing Interloper, there won't be really anything in here. But all it is basically a little cave area right in there. And you could put a fire in there and stuff, but that's about it. If you're playing anything lower than Interloper, you'll probably get some loot in there. So we're going to follow this trail down to the lake some more, and I'll show you around down there. Okay, so this is the lake area. Now, most of the wolves in this region are probably going to be on the lake here. They can be up from 3 to 5 wolves on this lake, depending on the time of day or whenever, if they spawn in. Over here is these beautiful lake cabins that you could stay in. Of course, this whole region is the safe house customization enabled, so you can do anything you want in those cabins. Oh, I forgot to tell you, up there by the train track where I showed you where the connection was to the camp office, which is right over there, by the way, is a moose spawn. So right at the top of the hill, right where that power line goes in, that's where a moose spawn is. Didn't mean to release that arrow, but it is what it is. So down here is a bear spawn. One of the 3 that are in this region. As you can see, there's a beautiful lake. There's a lot of fishing cabins for fishing. There's a lot of deer and stuff that roam around here, and rabbits. So right down there to the right of the fishing hut, right there is the bear cave. So when you're coming down this area, the bear he roams from down there. He does roam up in this area. He'll come like probably as far as here, and then he'll go back down again. If he smells meat or if he smells you, he'll probably come out of his area. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go down the river a bit. Like I said, there isn't any out now, but a lot of times there's wolves over there, and there's sometimes two wolves over there and over there. So if you come here, you'll probably be encountered by wolves, depending on the difficulty you're playing. Right now I'm playing on Pilgrim, so there might not even be here, which they're not at the moment. Okay, so this is the Southern Access River, and I'll show you this river here. It's actually this right here. We're right about here, and we're gonna go walk down here a little bit, and then we're gonna cut this way a little bit. I'm gonna go this way. The river just kind of meanders down. There's nothing really to see following this river. There's nothing there, but there's things to see over here, which we're gonna go check out. Okay. Now, I told you about the lake overlook before. This is the way to access it. Originally, this is kind of how you're supposed to access it. There's two ropes right here. I don't know if you could see. See, there's two ropes right there. There's another rope above that, and that's how you get up there. But like I said, you can go up the other way, and you can goat up there, and you might get a couple sprains walking up there, but you can certainly go up there. I'm going to show you another danger zone you might want to look out for when you come down here is a wolf area. A wolf generally loves to hang out in this area down here. Matter of fact, there's a wolf right there. He'll just run away from me because we're on Pilgrim, but there's a wolf right there. There's a hunting blind you can visit. There's usually some good loot in there. This is just like a little fire area in here. There's not much in here. But if you're cold and you need a place to put a fire down, this is wind blocked in here. He's going after that bunny over there. Okay, so down here we're going to be approaching, so we're right about here on our map. That was Alan's Cave we just passed, so we're right around in this area, right up here. We're approaching in here now, okay? So back before the wildlife refresh, there used to be a moose spawn on the river right here, right in this area. But they changed it. It's not there anymore. Now they changed it to up by the camp office where we were before. I'll show you where the other two moose spawns would be. So this is the infamous Carter Hydro Dam area. There is a transition zones. Here, I'll explain to you once we get up there. It's easier to explain it when we get up there. Okay, so you can go through the dam right there and go down the dam and out the other end and go to a place called Winding River, which will eventually take you to Pleasant Valley. Down this end here, you can go through there and go into the ravine, which will take you to Bleak Inlet and Coastal Highway. Okay? So we're going to now backtrack down the tracks a little bit more. So we're like over here now. We're going to walk back this way a little bit, and then we're going to go down this way. Excuse me. Down here, the train room, and there, oh, by the way, there could be a potential wolf right here also. In this area, there could be a wolf that might come out and want to greet you. Okay. So I'm going to get over here a little bit. I'll show you and I'll explain a little bit of what's going on down here. Okay. So, up there, that's a tower up there. It's a lookout tower. That might be a place you might want to go visit. And you can access that right across the tracks from the camp office. You walk up the hill and you can make it up there. Now, down the tracks a little ways is these train cars. There's another train car down the track a little bit. There's not really much else down these tracks except a couple wolves. But there's 2 train cars. You might want to check them out. There might be loot in those. But we're going to go down this way because there's more interesting stuff to see down here. Right over here on the right is a potential moose spawn. Actually, if you look right there, you could see the moose rubbings on the tree right there. That means that this is a moose spawn area. Now, he doesn't look like it's there right now, but come back in a couple days, he might actually be there. Okay, so down here is what they call the logging camp area. There's also could be a wolf in this area, anywhere around in here. So be careful when you come down here. We're going to be coming up, approaching the second bear spawn area also. Area is just a couple of trailers. But they're warm. There's some trailers here, some loot, and there's a broken one with a fireplace in there, a 2-burner stove. Right in this area is a potential cougar spawn. So if you kill the cougar, we're going to be walking by it, but over there is a cougar spawn area. If you kill that cougar, the second spawn will end up being over here. So just so you know. Let me show you where we are on the map. There's the logging camp. We're right around this area. The cougar will spawn up in here. That's only the secondary cougar spawn area. So if you don't kill any cougars in this map, it'll only be this one that's coming up. I'll show you where that is. It's right by the bear spawn, the second bear spawn. Up in that area up there is a broken lookout tower. And it's an interesting story about the tower. Let me show you real quick. Okay. If you look right here, it says destroyed lookout. That's the one we were looking at. This tower here is the lookout that we saw up on the hill that I showed you a few minutes ago. This tower used to be here, and this destroyed lookout used to be up here. So about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, they changed it. They took this broken tower out of here, and they moved it here, and they took this tower from here and moved it over here. That was one of the big major changes on this map. Now that area up where the lookout tower is now, that's the potential cougar spawn. I mean, that would be the first cougar spawn there. So coming up here past these two rocks right here is the bear cave. This is actually a bear cave rock right here. So when you're approaching, especially from this side, be very careful going around this rock because he might be standing right there. So let's see if he's out. Okay, he's not out. But if he was out, the bear cave is right there. Where my reticule is pointing, right there is the bear cave. Up there is the broken tower. This one's broken. And you get there up this path. So you follow this path kind of all the way up. It's wavy. And boop, 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 boop. And then you'll finally make it there. This area is infested by wolves, by the way, as you can see. There's 2 of them here. Sometimes you can run into 3 or 4 of them. Sometimes you run into none. Up there is where the cougar spawns, up in that area up there. That's the first cougar that you see in the game, in this region. It would be up there. If you kill that cougar, the next one will spawn over there that I showed you previously. Okay, so going up this hill, let me show you where we are on the map. We're now coming over here. We're going to be coming up over this hill and coming up to another cabin over here. There used to be a moose spawn in here, but they moved it. It's no longer here. Because I remember back in the day, a few years ago, before they did the refresh, you used to come over this hill and would sometimes run right into the moose. But they moved the moose, not here anymore. Okay, so here's another potential bear spawn. Coming up after this cabin, you'll come to an unknown pond. That's what they call it. And there's a bear spawn there as well. So the moose used to spawn right over here. It doesn't spawn here anymore. So you don't have to worry. This is a cute, cozy little cabin, too. When you're cold or you need to rest for the night, you can go in there. I call that the moose cabin because there was a moose spawn here. I've been calling it the moose cabin for years. Now I don't know what to call it anymore. Unnamed cabin. This is unnamed pond, so maybe we'll call it unnamed cabin. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. So we're approaching the bear spawn right here. So when you come up to this river, you should be careful because you could be walking. The bear cave's right there. The bear will walk along the pond. He'll walk a little up that way, and sometimes he'll walk up there. Sometimes. It depends, but usually he stays in this area. But the bear cave is right there. Now we're going to be taking you to the next best, or the best. Some people will call it the most iconic spot in the whole game. We'll be coming across a cabin called Trapper's Cabin. And Trapper's Cabin is very iconic. As a matter of fact, it's in one of the opening screens for the game for many, many years. And we'll be approaching that very soon. And we're almost done with our tour. So in this area, as you can see, you'll find a lot of deer and rabbits. You might potentially find a wolf over there, in that area over there, and you might actually find a wolf over in this area too. Very possible. It does happen. I know that they did change some of the wolf spawns in the game, so they're a little bit more random now. So over here, like I say, there could be a wolf over there. And possibly, maybe over there. So up here is the final moose spawn. It would be up on this hill up here. This moose could still spawn even if one of the other ones spawn. This moose sometimes does. This moose will not leave markings, but will spawn with no markings. I have seen them spawn with no markings up here before. And he'll actually be just a little bit up where that deer is. He'll actually be right around in that area. I'll show you a little better when we get up there. He'd be right in this area right here. Okay, so over there is the infamous Trapper's Cabin, or Trapper's Homestead. And that is one of the most iconic spaces in the whole game. Awesome place for a base. The only problem with this place is it's quite secluded. It's really far away from everything else. You could tell, like the center of the map is really way over there. The camp office is more centrally located. But this is a beautiful, beautiful cabin. Now, there's a bear spawn here, too. There's actually 4 bear spawns on this map. I know I said 3 before, but there's actually 4. There's one right here, too, but I hardly ever see this bear anymore. So that almost ends our tour. We're going to go down this way quickly, and we'll go end at where we started. Make sure in your playthroughs you come and visit Max. This is Max's last stand. This is the only corpse in the game that has a name. Right? So make sure you come here and check out Max. Pay your respects to Max. So I'll show you where we are on the map now. We're actually over here. This was Trapper's Cabin. We're actually walking this way now. We're actually walking down this way. Actually, it's more right over here. And we're going to end up right over here again. I'll tell you a few of the pros of this map and cons before we end here. The pros of this map, plenty of fishing. You can see all the fishing huts. There's plenty of wildlife here. There's potential for 3 moose spawns and 4 bear spawns. There's a lot of birch bark. There's birch bark here. Not a lot, but there's some. There's a good amount of plants and cattails on the lake. There's a lot of room to spread out. There's a lot of good cabins around. Got the camp office. You got trappers over there. You got the dam and the trailers down there. So there's plenty of places to have a base at. And we're going to end this tour just as it's starting to get dark. Perfect. So the map is pretty circular. There isn't any really high elevations, except for like up there when you want to go up there to the bunker. But other than that, it's really pretty self-explanatory. It's Pretty easy map to navigate. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button and, you know, if you like the video, and subscribe if you like to, and hit the bell to get notified. We're going to be continuing on with this series, and I'm also going to be thinking about lately a new game I want to play as a different than the Long Dark, and we'll continue on with this tutorial series. Until then, take care, and thank you so much, and take care, and goodbye.